Welcome to Workers on Wednesday, right here on the Crunch, your mid-morning heartbeat of Zimbabwe. And if you've just tuned in, this is your ultimate show. If you are, going to work, if you are an employer as well, we're pulling back on the question on something that may feel rather invisible and yet quite powerful. Something that is shaping promotions, in some cases even punishments, and also even how your payslip is looking like. Something that is known as artificial intelligence. Diwa, you're working for a printing company. Let's call you Tasara. You are a loyal worker. Every single morning you try to get to work on time, and sometimes you're so early that you can actually sweep a little bit in terms of the front office just to get things a little bit tidy, right? Recently there was a scanner installed at work. Management is saying we want to have new AI-powered system in the company to make sure that we are more efficient and also more productive. So when you come in, make sure you clock in, right? And you don't have to do anything. Logbook, you don't have to do that anymore. One day, your supervisor, Senzo, pulls you to the side and says, I see you've been late at least 5 times this month. You utterly surprised, blink a little bit, and you say, that can't be true. I'm actually one of the early ones. I think yes, there were 3 types, but I can't look up, but I'm pretty sure. And even then, when you say late, I was probably like 1 minute after 8. So naturally, there's a logbook. You go and check the logbook to see what exactly is going on, and you're right. The logbook is confirming that you have been on time. You go back to Nkoma Senzo. Look, I've been coming to work on time, but the system is saying this is wrong, and I can't override what the system says, so you're just going to have to wait and hear what HR says. Surprised as you may be, but you can have a logbook, and I'm showing you that I've been on time. Who on earth is running this AI system? How do I appeal this? Who is checking for inaccuracies quite like this? You keep asking the questions, and in the end, Senzo says, listen, I don't do IT. This is run by our IT department. You might need to email them. And just like that, your name is now in question, even though it feels like it's something light. You know the truth, but the machine is saying something else, and no one else seems to believe it. Have you been at work again, sometimes even punished or penalized, hearing maybe because of a system or a machine that didn't quite tell the full story? And what would you do if this was getting in the way of you getting promoted, possibly even facing dismissal because of a machine's word, and no one can explain it? Are you having any AI systems being used at your workplace, whether it's biometrics, payroll performances, or anything? We want to hear from you. 0719 100 404. And looking into situation, Nkoma Senzo in the meeting having asked his junior to write a report using ChatGPT, and now AI coming in to seemingly make the office more comfortable, causing problems. Should we be worried about artificial intelligence creeping in to the workplace? 0719 100 404. And quite interestingly, in the UK, there was also an article that popped up in a publication. Judge, for the first time, making it to court, into the High Court, judges were coming in raising alarms at the use of, listen to this, ChatGPT and artificial intelligence coming up with case law that doesn't exist. Why? Magweta arikuona iwo writing evidence case law that doesn't exist, because they're using like Senzo's junior, ChatGPT, to run evidence that doesn't exist. Similarly, to Zimbabwe, you might also have seen the story. A very prominent lawyer, Albert Professor, had to write an apology to the most supreme court of our country after his junior, like Tasara, like Tapua, had been using and coming up with cases that did not exist. Now, Nkoma Senzo, in this case, this Professor Albert lawyer had to issue out an apology saying, actually, Munwandanda Tuma, and they were using AI. I did not check to see if any of these details were quite correct. So we're going to be talking about this a little bit more this morning, looking into generative AI, that tool that's creating things like your words, pictures. These days it's videos, reports, voices. And it learns by scanning massive data sets across the world. And then in the end, it can sound like a lawyer. It can write like a CEO. It can even look like an accountant. It can draft like a clerk. But here is where the catch is. It does not always tell the truth. And when it lies, there's no one to arrest, there's no one to fire, and sometimes no one to explain. So this is what we want to talk about this morning. Have you yourself made a mistake using one such trusted tool because you trusted it blindly? What did you do next? And where do you think AI is getting it wrong? This morning, I'm quite excited by our panel that's joining us, looking into this discussion that is very hot off their heels across the world. Whereas when it comes to law, imagine being sent to prison or being given a punitive determination over facts that are not facts, over lies, how your life will change in that minute. And to unpack this discussion, I'm joined by three powerful voices, 4 plus yours, as always, 0772-269-229, 07190-400 is the number for you to get into our discussion. I'm going to start off by introducing our lovely guest from afar, but a sister from the motherland. She is an ICT governance expert. She's also a founder of ICT Graduates Conference. She is all the way in Botswana. Ametse Mafaisa. Good morning, Ametse. So good to have you on Capital.
Good morning, and good morning to our lovely listeners and panel.
We also have in studio Executive Director of the Institute of Global Leadership and Administration. He is the kind of voice where you can trust in terms of having a sharp mind on leadership and technology. Mr. Takashoshe Makadi. And lastly, but in no way least, he is our ultimate labor consultant. And by the way, whenever you have a labor issue you want us to tackle on our show, he is our go-to guy. You send him your question and we will take time to go through whatever labor issue you may be having, because he is that one who understands how IT systems hit people. Itai Bonda. Itai, good morning and welcome to Capital.
Dumelama.
Icho. I don't know how to respond, but I'm guessing Ametse would probably know.
Do we say Dumelama?
We say Dumela in Setswana.
Dumela. So he's onto something.
Afternoon, evening, but in other languages, locally, yes, which you can have something specific.
Got you. We are learning how connected we are as Africa. And speaking of connection, we started just having a bit of an experience, and I think as you're listening in, you might also have had your experience being making a big mistake on something that you trusted blindly, but also using artificial intelligence to help you come up with figures and reports. Maybe we can start right there, Ametse, if you can help us. Firstly, when we talk about generative AI, in simple terms, ChatGPT, Meta also has Liam or something that comes on WhatsApp. What exactly is that and how does it work in simple English? We seem to have lost Ametse. Right. Oh, you're here.
I didn't hear that you're asking questions.
Yes.
Generative AI. We are talking about tools and technologies that are made by humans to mimic the activities that we do, so that they are able to give us information on time and at accurate levels that we have defined them to give us. So we basically take technology and do a lot of programming behind it, build a number of algorithms or patterns that these tools and machines and technology should follow to give us the information that we want. So basically, engineers are behind programming these tools and technology to give you what we want. You may be, like you are saying, maybe talking about a payroll, and as an employee, I want to know how much leave I have, and normally it comes with that physical paper that you call a payslip, or for me to know how many days I have to go to HR and knock on their doors and ask and they will look up their system and be able to give me that information. With AI, we plug in a system where employees have access to, and when they do have access to, they are supposed to put in an identifiable maybe or feature into that system, and when they put that identifiable feature, that system will know that this is Dr. Itai. And if it's Dr. Itai, then you have access to 1, 2, 3. You don't have to go to HR. You can now at the top of your desk during lunch hour check how many minutes.
Got you.
This is what artificial intelligence is all about. To enable all of us to be able to get information, to be able to work smart, to be able to save time in doing some of the traditional things.
Got you. So when we talk about open source AI, what exactly does that mean and why does it matter?
Sorry, when we talk about?
When we talk about open source AI.
My line, I think, is cutting.
Yeah.
Yes, I was thinking. So when we talk about open source AI, basically you are talking about collaborative platform that has been defined using free software, because we do have enterprise paid-up software, but we also have a lot of free stuff online where you can go in there and take the freely available technology to build up your AI solutions or your AI system to enable, like I said, efficiency and effectiveness in how we operate.
Gotcha.
So open source, we have a lot of programs that are already online, that are free to use, that are not maybe paid up. Some of them may still be open source, but you pay a little bit, but the code already exists. Gotcha. Unlike in other instances where you are talking about enterprise source applications, where now you have to pay a bit of money to be able now to work with a specific vendor.
Got you. So, Bashoshe, when we look at the High Court situation in the UK, where lawyers were then punished closer to home, we were giving reference also to one of our own that also had to apologize about heads of arguments that had been written using fake sources. In your experience, Bashoshe, what is this saying about being able to verify, but also professional responsibility that lies with us using these AI sources?
Okay, thank you very much. I think those examples that you actually highlighted are key in terms of how AI should be used in the workplace, which is where it is applied to a larger extent to facilitate how work is done. But it is important that the users of AI have got the appropriate knowledge and skills and know-how on how to apply these various AI without full knowledge, without full skills. So they would think probably whatever AI gives you is fine now, but there's need to understand that it doesn't absolve you of the duty to verify, to prove, or to proofread whatever it has given you. So this is what people have to know. Whatever you ask AI to do, you should also have the knowledge of knowing what you want it to give you, and also the circumstances that exist around those issues, rather than just taking whatever comes out and say, no, this is right. Those skills are key in the workplace. AI doesn't remove, let me repeat, doesn't remove the responsibility and accountability from the users to verify whatever it has given you.
Got you. Well, Bonda, whilst you yourself may not be a lawyer, but from where you are sitting, from a labor perspective, are you yourself seeing any dangers of unchecked AI in professional work?
Yeah, thank you, Folake. Maybe I would want to start by saying that from the labor perspective, we don't call it artificial intelligence. we call it intelligence augmentation. Meaning to say that we are taking a human-centered approach to the use of AI, that you are calling AI. We want to take it as a body armor that you can put on when you like and also remove it when you don't like it. The challenge now comes when, as an individual, you think that these machines, which we are training, mind you, we are feeding them with information. The information, sometimes which are lies or biased, will actually think for you. That's not the perspective that we are taking from labor. We are saying you are able now to access information in the click of a button within a second. But now, when this information comes to you, it's up to you to process it. Folake. So if you don't do that now, this is where you now see dangers, which you are asking now. There was actually a study that was done with Amazon when they tried to use artificial intelligence in their recruiting process. So remember, we are using historical data. The first thing that we do when we want to use artificial intelligence is to digitize, meaning to say that we have got a lot of information now. And some of this historical data is actually biased. So it was actually in the tech industry. Historically, when you were recruiting, it was actually biased towards men by then. But now you can tell me, it's Gamas there who is actually teaching us all these things. She's a woman. Yes. So this information was actually imputed without being verified. And it brought about these biases. So it is still the same when we actually input this information without verifying it. Then Folake, remember we are saying it's about human labor relations. Labor relations, I want to also give you another example. It's like if I'm married to my wife, I'm bringing another second wife, which is this technology now. Meaning to say that there is a conflict. It means it may come in to replace me as the first wife, or it will come to having a son as a child. That's how it should actually come in as a scope. So we also need to get information for that. So there are a number of threats. And also, not forgetting that when we use AI, we should not do away with the aspect of safety, health and safety. It is not coming in to harm us, but it is coming to improve our capacities.
So from where you're sitting, Bonda, are there any policies or even internal authenticity or verification processes that a workplace should be putting into place in the event that whether it's a recruiting process, like you're saying, so that if there is any sort of bias, whether it's in gender, race, or ethnicity, that bias is then balanced? If it is, say, in producing reports, the data that's there, is it authentic? Can it be verified? What should companies be doing? What should institutions be doing at
must,
policy level?
Okay, we must actually applaud portals for what they have done. They've said every organization must have a data protection office, and these people have actually been trained so that we've got this. This is also to guard against the issues of confidentiality and privacy. Remember, when we've got a lot of this data, anybody can misuse it. It can be used for surveillance, it can be used for other bad issues. So now, I have also to say that I'm a bit worried now in terms of police position. Most codes of conduct do not have this aspect of AI. But if you look at us, most of our works, most of our tasks are now being done using what? AI. So now the challenge is when a misconduct is committed, it is actually cyber, it is actually virtual. And nobody knows exactly what to do, how to tackle it. So there is still that gap there. Yes,
It's Capital 100.4 FM. Do you feel as if AI is coming in to make certain work more efficient, productive? Is it increasing our knowledge? Is it improving your decision making as a department? Or is it coming to create problems and dangers, quite like what we're seeing when it starts to give us hallucinations, things that don't exist, things that it dreams up, rather than it just giving you a blank response? But Shosha, when you look at Zimbabwe, HR, for example, even our legal offices, do you think we ourselves are ready for this kind of disruption? Bonda was also explaining the need for us to think about policy. We're also thinking even just proper adoption of AI, what he's calling artificial augmentation, AA, and DT,
intelligence augmentation, that's
intelligence augmentation, IA, into our workforce. Do you think we as a country are ready for this?
Thank you. You see, I think of late, and even currently, there's a lot of talk about artificial intelligence in the workplace. Artificial intelligence and displacement of jobs, and a lot is becoming on social media and all over, saying probably the next 2 years, the next 5 years in this sector, so much jobs would have been displaced. So there's a lot of fear and misunderstanding of what artificial intelligence is actually going to do in the workplace. And because people were not prepared, were not ready. But what is needed now is for people to understand and know that this artificial intelligence that we're talking about is no longer a thing of the past, but and not even a futuristic thing, but a present issue that is affecting the workplace and the way work is done. So both individuals and organizations have to be ready, have to prepare themselves. And the first stage of preparation is to understand what artificial intelligence is and what it is not. And then get trained in the skills that are needed for proper application of artificial intelligence in the workplace. Right? So that we don't see some of these things that are already coming up where probably unverified information goes to where it's not supposed to get to, and even those who have used artificial intelligence don't know who to make accountable or who to blame. So individuals and organizations have to be prepared. You have to be trained in artificial intelligence skills. Particularly, I'm very much interested in the end user of artificial intelligence. There's so much that could be happening in the backside, where it is generated, where data is fed, and what have you. But the majority are in the end user category. Just like yourself is seated there as a presenter. Do you have all the skills? What level of competence in terms of AI application do you have to handle your work, to do what you are doing there? Like what Mr. Bonda said, it's artificial intelligence that augment to make whatever you're doing more efficient, more productive. But do you know how to get there as an individual? Do organizations know how to get there as organizations? Do they need to incorporate artificial intelligence strategies in their full corporate plans? And also work on educating their employees, upskilling them, reskilling them, so that there's no this fear that we are seeing as to what's going to happen. Whether if AI is going to displace them or is going to augment.
So you raised some very critical thought processes there, Rashoshe. Join the rest of the world, join the rest of the herd at Lush Restaurant, the Country Club, for a Zimbabwe Rugby Union live viewing, or alternatively, go to Harare Sports Club for Capital 100.4 FM watch party. Enjoy your smooth, easy drinking Sable Lager during the course of the match as we stamp our hooves and make some noise in support of our boys. Entry is free, by the way. We're talking this morning about how AI is coming into the workplace, looking into recent situations where false heads of arguments were citing, for example, non-existent case law. And the court is coming in to say, listen, if you're going to use AI, you've got to be careful to verify. Otherwise, your onus is going to fall on you. And I'm just trying to imagine, Sekametsi and Bonda as well, in a case where there is a dispute management situation going on, you're trying to resolve a situation, and there you are using false information obtained from these open source tools. Maybe you're about to go into the hearing and you quickly ask ChatGPT to give you a format of a hearing or previous determinations about how a certain misconduct was operated. Radanu gives you 18, and 12 of those 18 are false. I'm trying to imagine how this might interfere with, say, justice within the workplace as far as resolving dispute, even if it's also administrative justice in terms of hiring, Bonda, and then I'll also allow Segametse to come in there.
Right. So for me, that's not a problem. Our biggest problem now is that we are not making use of this artificial intelligence. We are not adopting it formally. Like we are saying, we are worried when it comes to policy of adopting it right. Now, what it means, employees will always go out there and look for that information. And there is this thinking now that AI will actually reason, will actually give you the correct answers, which is not. Unless if we have adopted it formally and we define the parameters, the scope of where we get the information. This is why Sega was saying there are enterprise resources where you are supposed to pay for, where you are supposed to do this one. There's a good example in Kenya. They actually adopted it in the judicial service, of which ours as well is a good ground. Reason, we have already digitized, we have got a lot of information. We can make use of what? Of AI. Judgments are already circulating. It's just a matter of directing this is where we take our information.
And that's a very interesting observation, Segamets, because when we're looking at the different tools that are out there, there are the free versions, right, in terms of models that people use, and most of us are on the free version. And then there is the paid for version. And I understand the distinction there is also so important in terms of what you as the end user, as Vashoshe was highlighting, get out of that. In your experience, why is this distinction important between someone who's just using the free model and someone who has the paid version of AI?
I think one thing which I want to go into is about user engagement and providing awareness to all users. They form the majority of the people who are using the system anyway. So issues of accountability, issues of ownership, issues of managing resistance can well be done once you involve everyone in the process.
Right.
And I also want to touch, I think, a bit, I wanted to say it earlier, I wanted to also touch a bit on what Folake said when he talked about, issues around credibility of what comes from the AI system.
Right.
A lot of work and effort must be invested when you develop solutions using AI. And when you finally implement them, you should have tested them enough to ensure that they will give you what is accurate and what is reliable and what is trustworthy. And it's important that when we do that, we use experts. We have expert knowledge on how to develop programs and algorithms that can be used by these AI tools and machines. And therefore, there is also need for continuous monitoring. There is need for continuous checking and calibrating. Because remember, those are systems and tools. And in many instances, when you have a tool that you have plugged into your home or in any area, there is need for you to check. This is where we do a lot of maintenance. So that when we continually check, we want to verify and give ourselves confidence that we will get the right results whenever we are using the systems and the tools. And now going back to open source versus systems that are payable and all that, I think the good thing about open source is that they reduce costs and they are available and accessible to many. And they also, it doesn't mean they don't have security built in them. They do have a little bit of security built in them, but of course we also have to think issues around security and maintenance because there may be areas where accountability of the open source is not there. So it's important that if you are going to invest your time and energy in using open source, you also are mindful of the issues and the risks behind it in terms of licensing. You can't license. In some instances, there is minimal licensing that you can adopt. So your relationship with the source owner.
Gotcha.
And continuous upgrades and updates. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
The solutions that are developed and owned up by vendors, then you are likely going to get improved accountability.
Got you.
Or verify the results in case of cost issues. If there are issues with the results that coming from AI, you can actually be able to quickly get in touch with the experts behind the source code or behind the solution and quickly verify and validate.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Only because of time, we want to put a breather on this discussion because there's much that we need to talk about. Today, we were focusing on the organization itself and its employees and how they should be preparing for the coming in of AI into the running of the organization. But what about support structures like our trade unions? How exactly should they also be participating in the use of AI? And if there is a situation that is erupting because of AI, how should the workplaces and the unions come in? Do you think our unions and worker committees should also now be trained in how AI works? Do you think your worker reps right now are also preparing for AI-related grievances, automated threats, for example, algorithm biases, or even unfair recruitment tools? These are all the questions that we have, and we will continue having these discussions around how AI should be coming in and how we should be preparing ourselves as organizations, as a country, for a workforce that's AI ready. Only because of time, Sekamete, if we wanted to get a hold of you, how do we get a hold of you?
I'm in Botswana, and you can reach us through email info@serviceexcellence.co.uk. Usually service and excellence is just one E. You can reach us on our cell phone +267 73 69 68 70 or +267 75 16 2239.
Got you. Got you. Ashwashi, how do we get a hold of you?
For the East of Global Leadership Administration, kindly visit our website www.igla.africa or call us on 0778 241 561.
Bonda, quickly, how do we get a hold of you?
0777 952 135.
And with that, it's 10 o'clock.